Nice Guys.
March, Jack Ely. Don't get upset. I'm not here to hurt you. I want you to help me with this case.
My profession's very complicated. It's very nuanced. Well, look who decided to show up for class.
So I really wanted to see Nice Guys when it came out. I mean, it was directed by Shane Black, had Ryan Gosling, had Russell Crowe, a lot of cool people in it. But as Fates had in store, I was not able to see it in the cinema, but I've been able to see it here recently and amend this grotesque error. Nice Guys was directed by Shane Black, and the screenplay was written by Shane Black and Anthony Bagarozzi. Nice Guys is a 1970s Pulp Fiction, private detective story. It follows Holland March, who's played by Ryan Gosling, who's a down-on-his-luck detective, and Jackson Healy, who is played by Russell Crowe, who is an enforcer, so he beats people up and tells people to leave people alone. These two characters are, they're not friends at the beginning of the story. They don't even know each other, but as fate has it, they end up working on a case that needs these two to work together. Their personalities are quite different, so it creates for a lot of, interesting character moments. But the story itself is all about these two guys who are looking for this missing girl named Amelia. And in their search for her, it kind of sends them on this, trip through the seedy underbelly of LA's pornographic scene, while also embracing the kind of these environmental activists as well, who are protesting the polluted air in Los Angeles and the smog. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see it in the cinema and only saw it here recently. Didn't have a chance to look into anything until after I saw the film, which I'm glad that I didn't look anything up prior to seeing the film. I was stoked to see that it was sitting on around 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it is probably one of the best films that I've seen this year. There's a lot of reasons, so I'll go into those reasons now. Why not? So like I said, it's kind of a Pulp Fiction type story. It's something that you don't see a lot of films like this these days. You see films kind of like this, and you see things that are similar. I think it's rare to see a Pulp Fiction detective story of this kind in cinemas. I can't remember the last time I saw a fun period detective film in the cinema. What I liked about it is, it had all of those kind of classic elements of a Pulp Fiction kind of tale. You have the scandalous women, you have the rough and tough beat 'em up, gangster kind of people. You have people getting shot and all this kind of stuff. Like, it just really emulates everything that a Pulp Fiction kind of detective story would have, but it does it with maybe a lighter tone than what a Pulp Fiction book might have. I like the vibe that was kind of going throughout this entire film. It was really engaging, and I enjoyed that. The chemistry between Gosling and Crowe was really good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as different as like chalk and cheese. I mean, they're both they're not amazing at their jobs. They're very kind of grungy, sloppy PIs. Gosling's character is one who is, quite happy to manipulate and charge people more money for as little work as possible, whereas, Crowe's character is a bit more on the straight and narrow, where he wants to get the job done, quite quickly. He's more efficient, but he's very, more in his kind of approach and his look, he's very kind of grungy, whereas Gosling, while he's supposed to be the slick, cool one, he's more lazy in his approach to getting things done.
March! You were in the pool? Yeah. Why? I had to question the mermaids. What were you doing while I was working?
The film really harks back to kind of like the buddy cop kind of films, which shouldn't really surprise me given, Shane Black's track record. But we don't really see buddy cop films anymore. If we do, it's very dark and gritty, like kind of True Detective. You don't have the kind of buddy cop films of the 90s, where it's this serious action film with some nice humor between these two interesting characters. And I think Nice Guys is proof that these types of stories still work. They're still fun, they're still engaging, and I want to see more of this. I think what's fun as well is the plot is kept quite basic. It's not like it's this sort of immense investigation that takes so much time and thought to work out and think through. It's about finding a missing person, so they're just kind of following those clues, and I think that's good, because with this kind of film you want to be able to invest in the characters and learn about them and kind of engage in their lives. It allows for them to really explore the characters in serious ways and in humorous ways while they're on this investigation.
Dad, There's like whores here and stuff.
Sweetheart, how many times have I told you, don't say and stuff. Just say, Dad, there are whores here.
And I love the look of it. The look of it was great. It really just was screaming 1970s, but not in an obnoxious way. Dressed to the cars, to the style of houses and all that kind of stuff. It was very, very, very 1970s. It was done really well. For me, I thought that the way that it looked was brilliant. I think it emulated the whole kind of style and the way that it looked and the way that it was shot really helped kind of solidify that kind of Pulp Fiction kind of narrative that they were trying to tell. So both in story and in look, it just, everything in this film was working at 100%. So I think Nice Guys is an absolutely brilliant film. I definitely want to see a sequel to this film. I know they probably won't, but I absolutely would love to see another return to the Nice Guys world. I think because they are private investigators, then it's easy for them to get into a huge array of situations where they have to solve some particular crime, and I think it would be kind of sad if we never explored these two characters again, but at the same time, the film is so good that a second film could ruin the reputation of the brand, I suppose. So I'm kind of like on the fence. I would love to see more, but more could potentially be bad, but you never know. I first came across Shane Black many moons ago because he was one of the stars in the original Predator film. I mean, he's gone on to have a really good career in Hollywood. He's written films like Lethal Weapon 2 to 4. He did one of my all-time favorite films, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, starring Robert Downey Jr., which is freaking awesome. And he did Iron Man 3, and he's also doing the new Predator film. As a writer, he's great. His wit and his humor that he brings out in his films, it's amazing. The way he builds his characters and structures his stories is wonderful. He's very much a character-driven writer. All of his films have special, unique characters who, kind of do their own thing, and that's what makes his films so special and so unique. You remember the characters from his films because they're funny, they're witty, they're interesting. I'm not saying everything he's done is a perfect hit and run, but his track record is great. I wish that more directors in Hollywood would look at someone like Black and to be like, oh, here's a good example of a writer-director who can create great films and great characters that people remember, not just kind of bland average Joes that you see in so many of today's current films. I would wholeheartedly recommend Nice Guys. If you've not seen it, correct that grotesque error now. If you have seen it, comment below, let me know what you think. Would you like to see sequels to this particular film? Should it just stay as one and leave it at that? Let me know. Personally, I think it'd be great as a continued series, but I can see the issues that might come about if they did try and do that. So yeah, comment below, let me know what you think of the film. Look forward to having a nice friendly conversation soon. Bye.